Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The most engrossing story WWE has to tell right now involves Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman on one side, and CM Punk, Sami Zayn, World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso, and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, who is currently absent from WWE programming. After a spectacular end to last night's Raw, Zayn and Punk are scheduled to be in tag team action against Breaker and Rollins at Saturday night's main event this week. Uso will also have his hands full with a title defense against Logan Paul at the show. It seems quite likely that at some point over the next few weeks, Roman Reigns will also return to get his revenge on Braun Breaker, and in particular, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. This might even follow or be followed by a shocking heel turn and deflection to the dark side. Nevertheless, upon Reigns' eventual return, one person who would need to live in constant fear would be his former Weissman, Paul Heyman. Reigns is not soon going to forget the betrayal he suffered at, quite literally, Heyman's hands at WrestleMania 41, and if he gets his hands on him, Paul Heyman might not be able to get out of bed, let alone be seen on TV, for months. The last time Paul Heyman was on the receiving end of a vicious assault was at the hands of the bootleg Bloodline back in the summer of 2024. He was off television for almost 6 months following that incident. As a result, the Tribal Chief's potential attack on Heyman could mean that Triple H plans to once again remove Heyman from television for an extended period of time. While the potential of Roman Reigns, and perhaps even CM Punk, laying out Heyman seems to be quite plausible, and one the WWE Universe wouldn't mind at all, it is unlikely Heyman is off television as long as he was last year, considering his key role on TV right now. One thing is for sure, the WWE Universe will miss chanting "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman." The landscape Roman Reigns walks back into is unlike anything he left behind. The lines between ally and enemy are dangerously blurred, especially with CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn orbiting the same volatile space as Rollins, Breaker, and Heyman. These are all men the head of the table has complicated relationships with. Furthermore, Jey Uso is now the World Heavyweight Champion on Raw, while John Cena holds the undisputed WWE Championship on SmackDown, the title and show Roman Reigns has defined over the past few years. This forces him into an extremely tough dynamic on Raw, where he now stands not just without, but against Paul Heyman. Meanwhile, the Bloodline is no longer with him, and neither is Jimmy Uso. With Sami Zayn and Jey Uso now their own men and allied with CM Punk, their dynamic with Reigns would have to evolve. The WWE landscape is shifting once again, and as the dust settles in the wake of WrestleMania 41, rumors are swirling about monumental changes that could impact some of the most iconic names in the business. Roman Reigns, who stepped away from television following his crushing loss on the grandest stage of them all, is reportedly on the verge of making his highly anticipated return. But with that return comes speculation that may shake WWE's foundations. Reports suggest that WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H is seriously considering removing a WWE Hall of Famer from television. And not just any Hall of Famer, one who has played a significant role on screen in Reigns' historic saga, none other than Paul Heyman. While WWE has yet to confirm any decision, insiders believe the writing may already be on the wall. In this deep dive, we'll explore the possibility of Heyman being removed from television, examine what's fueling the speculation, consider what Roman Reigns' return could mean for the Bloodline's future, and look at how Triple H's creative vision may be leading WWE into a new era, one that could leave behind even the most legendary names. The fallout from WrestleMania 41. WrestleMania 41 delivered drama and emotion in spades, but one of the most heartbreaking images was that of Roman Reigns, battered and disoriented, walking up the ramp after losing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The fall of the Tribal Chief was seismic, not just in terms of title lineage, but in how it symbolized the end of an era. Reigns' absence since then has been conspicuous. WWE programming has shifted toward newer faces and breakout stars, while members of the bloodline like Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu have kept the family name relevant, albeit in a darker, more chaotic fashion. Heyman, who was once seen clutching championship gold with a sly smirk, now appears more unsure than ever. His appearances since WrestleMania have been minimal. When he has shown up, it's been in shadows, backstage, flustered silence. The wise man without a tribal chief is like a sword without a wielder, still sharp, still dangerous, but ultimately incomplete. Triple H's new vision: evolution or erasure. Triple H has long been credited for infusing WWE with fresh storytelling and wrestling-centric narratives. His rise to creative power has introduced a wave of new champions, surprise returns, and long-term storytelling strategies that contrast the erratic tone of the previous era. Yet with progress comes difficult decisions. Removing a personality like Paul Heyman from WWE television is no small matter. He is a master of the microphone, a wrestling historian, and a crucial bridge between kayfabe and reality. But for Triple H, whose vision is focused on long-term growth and rising stars, the continued presence of Heyman might represent an anchor to the past, especially if Roman Reigns is about to pivot into a different direction entirely. Reports from internal WWE meetings have indicated that Triple H is exploring options to revamp the Bloodline storyline and may introduce a new order within the faction, one that leans more on the unpredictable aggression of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu than the cerebral dominance of Reigns and Heyman. This raises the possibility that Heyman, no longer needed as the voice of the tribal chief, may soon be written off to WWE programming. Roman Reigns, a changed man. According to sources close to the situation, Reigns' return is not just imminent, it's personal. He's not expected to come back to reclaim his title immediately. Instead, there are rumblings that Reigns will return in a more conflicted role, possibly seeking redemption or even revenge after being usurped by his own family. Reigns' last words on WWE television were haunting. "Acknowledge me, one last time." Many fans believe this was his way of exiting the spotlight, but others believe it was a foreshadowing, an admission that his control was slipping, and he knew it. Now, with Solo Sikoa tightening his grip over the bloodline and rumors of Heyman losing influence backstage, Reigns could return to find himself completely removed from the empire he once ruled. Would he blame Heyman for this downfall? It's a very real possibility. If Reigns believes Heyman failed to protect the island of relevancy during his absence, or worse, enabled Solo's rise, then the tension could explode on live television. And in that scenario, WWE could use the moment as a dramatic send-off for Heyman. The Bloodline Civil War. WWE has been planting seeds for a Bloodline Civil War for months. Even during Roman's reign, tension between Solo Sikoa and the other members, particularly Jey Uso, was palpable. Now, with Reigns absent and Solo in charge, the tension has reached a boiling point. Enter Jacob Fatu, a monster of a man who debuted to shocking violence on SmackDown and declared allegiance to Solo. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman has been visibly nervous around both men, at times cowering or staying silent in the background. The visual alone tells the story. Heyman no longer holds power in this new bloodline regime. If Roman returns and sides with Heyman, it could create a dynamic where the faction splits: Solo, Jacob Fatu, and possibly Tama Tonga representing the new blood, while Reigns, Heyman, and possibly a returning Jimmy Uso or another surprise ally represent the legacy. Such a storyline could culminate in a blockbuster SummerSlam or Survivor Series showdown, the Bloodline versus the True Bloodline. But if that's not the direction Triple H wants to go, and if Reigns returns as a lone wolf seeking personal vengeance, then Heyman's involvement might be cut entirely. Creative conflict. Triple H versus Heyman. It's no secret that Paul Heyman and Triple H have differing philosophies on storytelling. Heyman thrives on pushing boundaries, adding realism, and blurring lines between fiction and reality. Triple H, while equally visionary, is more methodical and structured in how he builds stars and arcs. According to sources, the two have had creative disagreements over the Bloodline's future. Heyman reportedly wanted a slower, more psychological breakdown of the faction post-WrestleMania, while Triple H favored an aggressive reset that would allow Solo Sikoa to become a standalone star by the end of the year. With backstage politics always a factor in WWE, it's not unthinkable that these differences could lead to Heyman being phased out, especially if his ideas no longer align with the company's long-term plans. Heyman's legacy and exit strategy. Should Heyman be written off, WWE would likely give him a dramatic exit befitting his legacy. A betrayal angle, perhaps involving Solo Sikoa delivering a Samoan spike after claiming your services are no longer needed, would be poetic and shocking. Alternatively, Reigns himself could be the one to exile Heyman, declaring that the man who once crowned him tribal chief no longer has the right to speak for him. Either way, Heyman's exit would be one of the most emotional television moments in recent WWE history. But is it permanent? History shows that no one truly leaves WWE forever. Even when legends step away from weekly programming, they often return for special storylines, Hall of Fame ceremonies, or high-stakes rivalries. Heyman's removal could be temporary, a strategic hiatus that allows WWE to evolve the Bloodline story without overexposure. What's next for Roman Reigns without Heyman? Reigns without Heyman is like Batman without Alfred. It changes the character completely. Yet, it might be the exact reinvention he needs. Freed from the wise man's whisper, Reigns could explore new emotional territory. Perhaps he returns humble, stripped of arrogance, focused on earning respect rather than demanding it. Or perhaps he returns darker, angrier, and more dangerous, hunting down the men who betrayed him. Either way, his return will mark a new chapter, and Heyman's removal might be the sacrifice needed to make it feel fresh. A WWE without Paul Heyman. The thought of Heyman vanishing from WWE television is jarring. He has been an essential part of some of the most iconic eras, from ECW to the original SmackDown 6, to Brock Lesnar's historic run, and now the Bloodline saga. His absence would leave a vacuum. But perhaps that's the point. Triple H's vision may require WWE to move past nostalgia and focus entirely on the future. Removing Heyman could be symbolic, the closing of the final chapter of the Roman Empire, allowing new stories and stars to take center stage. Conclusion: will Triple H pull the trigger? The question remains, will Triple H truly remove Paul Heyman from WWE television? Nothing is confirmed, and WWE could very well swerve fans with a completely different plan. But based on current creative shifts, backstage rumors, and the uncertain future of Roman Reigns, it's a possibility that can no longer be ignored. Heyman's legacy is secure. His brilliance is undeniable. But even icons must evolve or exit. If this is the end of the wise man's run, it will be a dramatic one. And if Roman Reigns is the one to usher in that ending, WWE fans should prepare themselves for one of the most emotional segments in company history. Whether by betrayal, exile, or reluctant farewell, Paul Heyman's days on television may be numbered. And in the world of WWE, that kind of change signals only one thing: something even bigger is coming next. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.